Hi everybody, welcome back, or if you're here for the first time then welcome. My name is Vicky. I have a colour analysis video today, and this is a bit of an update to my journey with colour analysis. I have recently been colour analysed by a separate system and I have a new result, so I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about my journey and what this new result means. So for those of you that are new, or if you're only sort of recent subscribers, I'm just going to take it back about a year and a half and just kind of explain my journey with colour analysis so far. So I got colour analysed by House of Colour right before Christmas, December 2022, so about a year and 9 months ago. I was trying for the longest time to figure out for myself what my colour season was, but I'm not very good at looking at myself objectively and trying to figure out, you know, what my undertones are, or what colour looks good on me, what colour doesn't look good on me. I was pretty sure that I was warm toned though, but I couldn't distinguish between spring or autumn, and I just needed that professional eye to say, you're this. So after doing some research, I decided to book in with House of Colour for an appointment, and like I say, that was right before Christmas. I think it was like 22nd or something, 22nd of December 2022. So I went along to my appointment, got draped, and it turns out that I am in the House of Colour system a true autumn. They do sometimes call it autumn leaf as well. So I am warm, and the colours that best suit me are muted, they're rich, they're earthy. Basically just think of those stereotypical colours when you think of autumn. And I was very happy with my result. Autumn was the season that I wanted to be. I love that time of year anyway. I love the colours, I love the coziness, I love that you can watch all of these films like Harry Potter and like wrap up under a blanket on the sofa. I just love the vibe of autumn, and especially the colours. I do like that they're rich, that they have this kind of classy, luxurious feel to them. So that was the season that I wanted, and it just so turned out that in their system I was draped as a true autumn. So very happy with the results, and then since then I have been all in. I went through my makeup and I decluttered any cool toned makeup. I did the same with my wardrobe. I put up a video about that. I took my colour fan and went through my wardrobe, and anything cool toned I decluttered. So I was all in with the results and totally took everything on board. And I have been really quite happy since then, living my life as a true autumn, and I've seen the difference. I've seen the difference that it's made wearing my warm autumn colours. However, like I said at the beginning, I have recently been analysed by a separate system, a separate company, and there are a few reasons for that. So firstly, this year I have been trying to pan an eyeshadow palette. I've since decluttered that has now stopped, but for the first 6-7 months of this year I was trying to completely use up an eyeshadow palette. It was a mixture of ABH, Modern Renaissance and Norvina shades, so it's basically browns, oranges, those kind of like earthy tones. But whenever I wore those eyeshadows, I found that they sort of blended into one. They looked a little bit muddy, they looked dull on me, they didn't make my eyes kind of appear bright. Now, I didn't know if that was because of my poor technique, I'm not very good at doing eyeshadow, or whether it was that the colours were, despite being warm and warm colours suiting me, that they were just too dark. So I didn't feel like the makeup, in particular the eyeshadow, was really complementing me and making everything sort of look in harmony. And since decluttering that palette, I've worn whatever makeup that I wanted to wear. I'm very much a lipstick person, so I've worn more of my lipsticks, I've worn less eyeshadow like I've done today. I've got no eyeshadow on, and I've got a House of Colour soft apricot, soft peach, I can't remember what it's actually called, that lip gloss on, and I like the fact that it's lighter and it's brighter. I think my eyes are more kind of vivid as well. So since wearing makeup that I just wanted to wear and felt like wearing on the day, I feel like I've looked better. I haven't looked as muddy or as dull. A second sort of reason why I wanted to get colour analysed by a separate system is because if you are like me and you're very much into colour analysis, and I assume you are because you clicked on this video, you've probably watched a lot of other colour analysis content on places like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, as have I. And on TikTok there's a colour analysis woman called Carol Brailey who works for the International Image Institute in Canada, a separate colour analysis system to House of Colour. And I've seen lots of her videos. Her befores and afters are incredible. People look so radiant and harmonised in their colour palette when they get colour analysed by her. And what was interesting is that in her system, if you are a natural blonde over the age of 20, which I am, this is my natural hair colour, it's like a medium to dark golden blonde, you cannot be an autumn. So I was thinking, well, if I'm not an autumn in her system, what would I be? And I've been aware of her videos basically since I started this colour analysis journey, before I even got colour analysed by House of Colour. And I did contemplate doing her DIY draping, but the problem with that is that, like I said earlier, I'm not very good at looking at myself objectively, so it would still require me to look at myself and go, does this colour work, does this colour not? So I considered the DIY draping, but then decided, you know, I would much rather have a professional look at me and decide for themselves. But recently, over the past 2-3 months, I've seen more of her videos on TikTok, so it's kind of like reignited that whole, oh well, if I'm not a true autumn in her system, what am I? So it's always kind of been there in the back of my mind, that kind of curiosity of I could potentially be assigned to a separate palette. And then interestingly, third sort of reason here is that I follow on Instagram, her handle is Be Boldly Empowered. I think I will leave her Instagram link down below. And she was analysed, she lives in America I do believe, she was analysed by House of Colour as a spring, and since then she's done a couple of other analysis with other systems, and I think her most recent one was with TCI, True Colour Institute, I think, and she was assigned as a true autumn. So that got me questioning as well, that maybe I would be assigned a different result as well. So all of these things started to kind of play on my mind a little bit. It wasn't the fact that I really hated my autumn colours and I didn't like how they looked on me. I did, like I said, I can tell the difference. It's just where the makeup has looked a little bit muddy, and then the curiosity of being a natural blonde, I wouldn't be an autumn in Carol Brailey's system. So I did decide at the beginning of August to be colour analysed by Carol Brailey, so I paid for that. I went through the process of submitting photos of me at different stages of my life, so as a child, in my teens, early teens, late teens, 20s, 30s, and when you submit your photos you need to say whether it's your natural hair colour or not. And where my natural hair colour can look different on a day-to-day basis. Some days it looks more golden, some days it looks more brown, other days it looks like there's some red in it. I did actually submit quite a few photos because I wanted to kind of give her a range of how my hair can look sometimes. I did also as well take a picture of my eye. She wants to see your eye. She doesn't base her decision on the eye colour itself though, but she just kind of likes to see it. And then I did as well tie the hair up, put on a white t-shirt and put a white printing piece of paper underneath my chin. If you don't have your natural hair colour, when you do that photo you do need to cover your hair, but I didn't need to. And I sent her a couple of photos of my eyes as well, a couple of photos of me with the piece of paper, so she had those different options to choose from, because I wanted to just get the most accurate result possible rather than only including a few select photos. So whilst I was waiting for the result, I watched so many of her videos, trying to kind of figure out for myself as well what I think the result might be. And I was pretty sure that I was warm toned, 99% sure that I was warm toned, despite a few people commenting on previous videos saying, oh no, you're a summer. No. And then, like I say, being a natural blonde, in her system that I think only gives me 4 results. That would either be a light summer or a true summer, but I didn't think I was either of those two because I don't think I'm cool toned, or a light spring or a true spring. And having watched a lot of the spring videos that she has, I thought, I think I'm a true spring. So submitted my photos on the 2nd of August, and I got my results back on the 20th, so it took 18 days, which wasn't long at all, because when I received the confirmation email they said I should receive the results on or before the 13th of September, so very pleased that I got the results quite quickly. And my result from Carol Brailey was in fact true spring, so it was the result that I was expecting to get, so no shocks at all. Definitely confirms that I am warm toned. And in the results that I got, she showed how she kind of came to that decision as well. She put my face on different sort of colours for the seasons as well. So I think first of all she determines whether you're, I think, either warm or cool toned, and then because I was warm toned she compared my face on pictures of spring and autumn colours. She determined that I was spring, and then we worked out which of the 4 sort of sub-seasons of spring I would be. And in her system there are 16 results, I do believe. I'm very new to this new system, so I might not get all of the facts correct, so bear with me whilst I continue to kind of learn about this new system. But with my results I could have been one of 4 sub-seasons within the spring family, and I was a true spring. And it's really interesting to see those photos actually, because I can clearly see that in her system the autumn colours don't make my face look alive. It actually kind of brings out some pinkness on my cheeks, it makes my dark circles look a little bit worse, it kind of makes my face look a little bit dull, whereas with the spring colours I look brighter. So that was really quite interesting to see how she got to that result. And then also in the results as well she gave me my colour palette, and my colour palette is quite bright. It's very different to what I'm used to. I'm used to warm colours because of being previously assigned an autumn, but I'm used to muted, richer, earthy colours, whereas with my true spring palette, they are clear, they're bright, they're vivid, they're splashy. It looks like a very fun palette actually, whereas I wouldn't really describe autumn as a fun palette. Autumn is more luxurious and comforting, whereas spring looks more fun and more playful. So since getting my results I have looked at her videos again, but only looked at the spring videos. I've looked at other spring videos on YouTube, I've looked at images on Pinterest, I've gone on Instagram as well. But what is not so much tricky, but what is important to kind of bear in mind is that in other systems true spring is the same as warm spring, whereas in Carol Brailey's system true spring and warm spring are separate sub-seasons within the spring family. So I need to be a little bit careful sometimes of what images I'm saving or what information I'm kind of taking on board. True spring and warm spring in her system are separate. I've joined a couple of Reddit groups as well and a couple of Facebook groups. I'm trying to kind of expose myself to as much sort of like spring, true spring information as possible. I posted a couple of things as well to try and get some advice from people. Also to see if anybody else had had a similar outcome as well. They'd been assigned autumn and they'd gone to spring, or even the reverse as well. And it seems like that's happened to quite a few people. I think one person even commented sort of saying, I think people being assigned from autumn to spring or vice versa is more common than you would see in summer to winter. Some people as well commented saying, yes, I was previously assigned an autumn and I'm now a spring. I do still think the autumn colours work for me, so I've now made my own custom palette from my best autumn colours and my best spring colours, and I thought that was quite interesting as well. Rather than just taking your result and then running with that result, maybe sort of building your own custom palette of your best colours. Because also I don't think I look bad in the autumn colours. I think they are complementary, especially my true autumn colours, and those are the colours within the autumn palette that I tend to stick to. I've got a little bit of soft, a little bit of dark, a little bit of vibrant, but I do typically stick to my true autumn colours. But I think it will be interesting that as I explore the spring palette more and bring in spring pieces of clothing, that if I look at myself and say a spring top that I might buy, to then compare it with an autumn green top and then see which one is more harmonious. Because I'm also not sure as well whether it's the fact that I was wearing warm colours that was complementary, or whether it was that they were warm in autumn. So lots of things to think about. I've also on my phone as well come up with this big list of suggested lip colours, so lipsticks, lip glosses, also blushes as well, because where I've gone through my makeup in the past, most of my makeup is geared towards autumn. Some of it might kind of cross over into spring, and I do want to film a video soon going through my makeup again and seeing what I do have that is spring. I'm not too sure what to do after I film that video though, because I am on a year-long replacement only no buy. So if it turns out that I don't really have many spring options for lip colours, would I then allow myself to just get a couple? I don't know. I'm going to film that in a week or so, and I'll see what comes from that. But that is something else that I'm thinking of, because when you are assigned a colour palette, the recommended first steps that you do are to get a couple of lipstick options in your colours, get used to seeing something in your season on your lips. Also do the same with your clothing as well. Get a colour that's in your palette close to your face, a top, a scarf, a hat, something like that. And I've tried to do this today, so about 99% of my wardrobe is autumn appropriate. Like with my makeup, I think I've got a couple of things that are appropriate for spring as well, and I think this top is one of them. And I love this top. I love the style firstly, I love a boat neck, but I love the colour, and whenever I wear this I get compliments. And this looks quite similar to one of the colours on my spring palette that I got from Carol Brailey. It's like a orangey red coral, really lovely, and I think I do have some harmony going on today with how I've sort of styled myself. And speaking of upcoming videos, I do want to film some videos of me trying on every single piece of clothing that I have in my wardrobe, because I wanted to do that from like a declutter point of view, and also determining if there's any gaps in my wardrobe for the upcoming autumn and winter seasons. But I can now do that with a spring frame of mine as well, so I will be filming those as well and seeing, one, what I've got that are in spring colours, and two, what are some gaps that I have. And then when I buy for those gaps, because I'm pretty sure I've got gaps for my autumn and winter wardrobe, I'll try to get them in spring colours. So my decision after getting this other colour analysis is that I do want to go all in again and really embrace this true spring palette. I want to go through my makeup, I want to go through my clothes. Like I say, if I buy any new makeup or any new clothes, I want to get them in spring colours and really sort of see what difference it makes as well. And like I say, wearing something that I think is true spring today, I do feel like it suits me and that there is harmony. So yeah, I'm quite kind of intrigued by exploring this new palette and exploring colours that are brighter and more colourful than what I'm used to. But it's gonna take some time. I need to retrain my eye. I'm very used to now spotting autumn colours, but where I've had a little look recently for photos on, say, the blues for all of the seasons, when I've looked at pictures on Instagram and they've got the 4 seasons and the blues that are appropriate for each season, my eye is still automatically drawn to the autumn colours, whereas I need to now go, oh no, opposite, let's look at spring. I need to get used to what spring blues look like or spring yellows look like. So that is going to take a little bit of time. I did buy from the International Image Institute the 4 seasons, there's 4 strips for the spring seasons, because when I got my results, it said in the results to only stick to your true spring colours if you want to maximise your results. Obviously, you know, if you want to wear whatever colour you want to wear, do that. But if you want to maximise your results, only stick to the true spring colours. Don't dip into bright spring or light spring, for example. I'm not sure if that's the same for every other result that you can get when you get analysed by Carol Brailey. I don't know. So what I thought would be helpful would be to figure out what those other spring palettes look like. So I did buy all 4 of them. This one is light spring, so this has pastels cooler than spring. This one is bright spring, which has tints cooler than spring. And then I've got these 2. True Spring, which is my palette. You can see how like fun and splashy and bright that palette is. And then Warm Spring. Very, very similar looking, but the main difference is that Warm Spring has colours that are more toasted than True Spring. So where I am used to autumn colours, I might find that I tend to naturally gravitate towards these, but I need to remember that they need to be clear, they need to be vivid, they need to be bright. So I'm going to use these to go through my wardrobe when I filmed that video. And also to help me get used to my palette, I've also got it as a background on my phone as well. So I'm on this new journey again of exploring this new colour palette, and like I say, I do want to be all in with this. I want to go through my makeup, I want to go through my clothes, bring in anything new that is for a true spring. So it's going to be a learning process, and I'm going to take you on the journey with me like I did for my true autumn result. And I do just want to say as well, I do really want to make this clear that I didn't pursue this new analysis because I hated my House of Colour results. I absolutely didn't. I do still believe that in the House of Colour system I would be a true autumn. I was very happy with that result, and I've seen the difference in incorporating all of these warm tones into my clothes, into my makeup. I also only wear like gold jewellery as well. My consultant at House of Colour as well was extremely knowledgeable. She had been working with them for a number of years. She had been involved in training as well, so she really knew her stuff. So I don't think that I was given the wrong result. I was given the correct result in that system. All of these different colour analysis systems, they have different ways of coming to their results, so I think that is why some people do get different results in different systems. So it's just whichever one you feel is the most aligned to you, and I do want to explore this true spring one. So if you've also been colour analysed by separate seasons and you've gotten separate results, or if you've had a true spring result with Carol, please do let me know down below. I hope you found this interesting. I really do love colour analysis. I love talking about it, and it's going to be fun that I get to explore a new palette again, a new season. And like I say, I will have some videos relating to my new palette moving forwards as well. So thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you again very soon for my next one. Bye.